Here's your weather briefing video for this Sunday morning. It's the 12th of January, 2024. I'm meteorologist Bill Murray, and we're talking about some freezing fog this morning. But first, a little bit of weather history. It's back on this date, 1982, big ice storm. Raise your hand if you were around for that one. It was a well-forecast event, really cold on that Sunday. An Arctic cold front dropped temperatures into the single digits that Sunday night and early Monday morning. That would have been the 10th and 11th. But on the 12th, on that Tuesday, even though things warmed up a bit on that Monday night, precipitation moved in early on that Tuesday. And the forecast that for the bad weather that was supposed to begin in the afternoon actually arrived early and caught commuters, especially in the Birmingham metro area, unawares, and they were released from work even as the precipitation was beginning in the Birmingham area, freezing rain, and it trapped tens of thousands of folks on area highways. Sort of like a precursor to the Snowmageddon, but with freezing rain. And was just a very, very bad event, a very dangerous humanitarian crisis that forced lots of folks into impromptu shelters like Brookwood Mall, other people's homes. It was the same day a big plane crash happened. An Air Florida jet hit the 14th Street Bridge and crashed into an icy Potomac River in Washington, D.C. In a terrible disaster that was part of the same system producing a snowstorm in the Washington, D.C. area. Now, our problem tonight and early on this Sunday morning as you watch this video is still black ice. Of course, we had a nice snow day on Friday. Lots of areas still had a good bit of snow on the ground still today, and a lot of that was still melting and draining off. Now, most of it had a chance to dry on area highways, but not all of it. And this is a problem. Already have had reports tonight of black ice on roads, especially secondary roads over North Alabama. So areas north central Alabama, North Alabama, really the whole area, anywhere you encounter drainage that's left on a highway late tonight or early Sunday morning, it's going to freeze, and it will be black ice. And we all know how dangerous black ice can be. In addition, freezing fog is a possibility. With clear skies and radiational cooling tonight, fog will be forming through the overnight hours. We look at these visibilities about 10 o'clock. They're not too bad just yet. Tullahoma, Tennessee, down to 3 miles. I've got another visibility around 4 miles there in southern Tennessee. Not too bad over North Alabama at this point, but they're going to be getting worse as we go through the overnight hours tonight. And these are the temperatures. Everyone's in the middle and upper 20s generally. Got a few spots that are still just above freezing in areas south of I-22 and US 280, but everyone's going to be below freezing all the way down to Mobile tonight. So this is a very significant situation. While it's not going to be widespread, it's going to be a problem, and it's something we're going to have to worry about. So don't let black ice sneak up on you. You can't see it. It's just going to be there. And if you're traveling late tonight or tomorrow, try to postpone that if you can until temperatures go above freezing. And the sun has had a chance to do its magic tomorrow. Let's look at the National Watch Warning Map showing freeze warning southeastern Alabama, southwestern Georgia, the northern parts of the Florida Panhandle early on this Sunday morning where freezes are expected, and they still haven't had a freeze in those areas. Southeast Georgia, the northern Florida Peninsula, same thing. Up in New York, we've got winter storm watches for Monday and Tuesday in the lee of Lake Erie in Ontario, where lake effect snows are going to be a problem. We've got winter weather advisories and a bit of a winter storm warning in the upper Midwest, including there in the Arrowhead of Minnesota. Same in the Rockies, the northern Rockies, and parts of Colorado. We've got freeze warnings in southern Arizona and in the Central Valley of California. You see lots of wind advisories, and that's producing red flag conditions again today in the Los Angeles area where they don't need it. They had winds 20, 25 miles an hour on Saturday. but fortunately got through the day without any big blow-ups. We'll be watching the fire situation there today. Again, Santa Ana winds will be a problem on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. Those folks just cannot catch a break. The fires are uncontained and are still raging in Southern California. Some of them today, the biggest fire was going toward the Brentwood area of Los Angeles this afternoon, on Saturday afternoon. And they just do not need any more bad news. These temperatures across Alabama and the southeastern United States for early on your Sunday morning. Teens across the northern part of Alabama. Lower middle 20s across the middle part of the state. Middle and upper 20s over South Alabama later today for your Sunday. High temperatures are going to be in the lower 40s over the Tennessee Valley. We'll be in the upper 40s in the I-20 corridor. Just to the south of that, expect lower 50s, getting into the upper 50s over South Alabama, and maybe approaching 60 degrees down around Mobile. Now, for your Sunday night readings, lows by Monday morning will be in the middle 20s over northeast Alabama, generally upper 20s in the US 280 I-22 corridor. As you go to the southwest, you'll see temperatures above freezing from Birmingham to the southwest, and we will take it. We can certainly use that. I'll start with the National Blend of Models kind of early in the slideshow here, so you can kind of see where things are going. 48 on average today, 49 tomorrow. Fall back a little bit behind the system that will be passing to our south on tonight or later tonight and Monday, giving us cooler conditions on Tuesday. We gradually begin a step warm up through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, seeing the 50s on average by Thursday, and most everyone in the 50s by Friday and Saturday. Falling back on the other side of the crest as we move into the week 2 period. Now, look at the upper pattern across North America. Low pressure across the western United States on this Sunday morning. It will slide to the east. Ridging will begin to build in over the northwest as we move toward midweek. And then low pressure will return late in the week over the western part of the country. But look at that ridging from the Great Lakes back into Texas, including here in Alabama, helping to give us that bit of a warming trend. But it will be short-lived, progressive pattern. By the period a week from Monday, this is Monday the 20th, showing a big trough of low pressure from the Great Lakes back into the Arklatex, and that means more cold conditions and some precipitation. Now, good news, though, is as we move out toward the end of the week 2 period, some warming by Wednesday the 22nd, and big ridge off the east coast of the United States with the big trough to our west, meaning precipitation and warming as we get into the weekend of the 26th. At least that's what the GFS thinks. Now, we'll go to the surface maps. This is your Sunday morning. GFS shows surface low there in western Wisconsin. Snow falling over the Great Lakes, well, really over the upper Midwest, where you saw that winter storm warning there. For the Arrowhead of Minnesota, all those winter weather advisories. The system will be moving on to the east today, dragging through the Great Lakes. A little band of snow will move through Chicago. You saw those advisories and winter storm warnings back to the west over the Rockies, and you can't buy a drop of rain in Southern California, although there will be some precipitation in the Pacific Northwest. We see a system developing to our southwest over the western Gulf of Mexico. That low pressure system is going to track along the Gulf Coast. Late tonight, early tomorrow morning, you'll see it like this, with moderate widespread rains over southern Mississippi, southeastern Louisiana, southern Alabama, the Florida Panhandle. Some of this rain may get up as far as Clanton, perhaps as Demopolis. Could see a shower perhaps in those areas, but I think the main rain will stay to the south. The system passes pretty quickly to the east. Cooler and windy conditions, well, not really windy, but breezy conditions for Tuesday. Our temperatures fall back into the 40s, even though they really hardly ever got out of there. Some snows to the north on Tuesday. By Wednesday, though, we're dry. Everybody's dry. Literally, from Seattle nearly to Miami, the only precipitation we'll deal with might be an isolated snow shower in Illinois, extreme northern Minnesota, and over the northeastern United States. As we head toward Thursday, very dry here in Alabama, ridging of high pressure. Our temperatures begin to warm up. The average reading about 50 51 degrees in the I-20 corridor, 40s to the north, 50s to the south. And by Friday, that warm-up will begin in earnest. We'll be in the 50s almost everywhere, with dry conditions continuing. No weather systems in Alabama at that point, but you see a system developing to the southwest, and it will fill in very quickly by Friday night, late Friday night into Saturday. Widespread rain, some thunder for your Saturday. Not looking at anything severe, but this system, this cold front, will move through and bring some cooler conditions. You see the falling heights and colder weather there for Sunday, the 19th. Going out of the week 2 voodoo period, this is Tuesday the 21st. Dry and cool for Alabama, but a second system moves in by late in the weekend of the 25th and 26th. And a little bit of a switch of gears here for you. This is the European. That was the GFS. And I just had to show you. I wanted to tell the European it was time to go home because it was drunk on this run from yesterday, showing some freezing rain in central Mississippi, some snows again for northern Mississippi, and some freezing rain for North Alabama on that Monday night, the 20th, into early the 21st. Now, our friend Henry Margaret City did pick up on this as a possibility, but I think the European is way too cold here, like it was a few weeks ago. So I don't think that's going to happen. This is a second system, according to the European, where we're in the 50s and 60s by the 25th and 26th. It's got teens and snow for northern Alabama, so this will disappear. We'll look at that 0Z run tomorrow and laugh. This is those temperatures off the European for that noon period on Saturday the 25th, showing us some 30 to 35 degrees below normal here in Alabama. And that's just not likely to happen. If it did, we'd be in the teens for highs. Overnight low that Saturday morning about 5 in Birmingham. So that's not going to happen. This is what the GFS thinks. Somewhere in the middle is probably the truth, but I think the GFS is a lot more correct. We'll be in the upper 50s by that Saturday the 25th, and by that Sunday the 26th, we may be in the 60s. Now, precipitation off the off the ensembles of the GFS, looking like 2.5 to 2.75 inches of rain for Birmingham, and that's not bad for January. We will take it, and we will enjoy it. Well, that's your weather video for this Sunday, the 12th of January. I'll have notes on the blog, complete update on the forecast coming up for you at noon. I'll update you on anything that develops during the day. Jack Rudden will be around watching the weather too. James will be back with 2-a-days tomorrow, as he always is. Amazing guy that he is. Scott will be back next Saturday, and I will be here next Sunday sitting in this seat. And until I get that opportunity, as I always tell you, keep an eye to the sky, because you'll always have something fun to look at.